Order. And tonight on the agenda, we have two topics that we want to discuss. The first topic is request for a handicap sign at Houston Avenue, number 3, for a handicap sign. And the commissioner spoke with Mr. Armando, which is the owner of the house, and we had a conversation with him. Actually, we was trying to convince him to put the stop sign in front of his home, but he preferred to put it across the street. Commissioner, do you want to comment on that, please?
Sure. Yeah, we met, the chairman said, we met with Mr. Armando, and he wanted handicap parking space to be across the street from his house, just because of the road, the way the road is sloping. He wanted, when he opens the door, not to fight with the door, because he's got some issues in there, and he wants the gravity to help him keep the door open when he gets out of the car, and then once he's out of the car, he'll be able to close the door. That's why he opted to request the parking space across the street from his house, which happens to be alongside the Historic Society building. And we tried to, I know this is aired. We got his wife to try to convince him, and he insisted. And he said, "I really need it, guys. Either you put it there, or otherwise it's not going to help me if you put it right across from my house, because the inclination of the road when he gets out is going to be pushing against him, and it will not help him." So we looked at that, and then we went back, and the alderman and I, and we took some measurements, and we took pictures, and now it's before you for your considerations.
I'm fine with it. The commissioner is fine with it, so I don't know how everybody else feel. I know Mr. Kleiner is right across from your museum there.
So where exactly is he asking for it? In front of 3 Houston Avenue, which is what it says, or across the street on the Historical Society Van Duzer House side, which is where he always parks?
Correct. That's exactly across the street.
Why would he want it where we have very little parking for the Historical Society? There's that little strip next to it there, and sometimes on East Avenue, depending on who's there. But and he always parks on our side of the street. Maybe it's because we have the big tree and there's a lot of shade in the summer. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but that was going to be my question. Mm-hmm. Because it says in front of, and it's not really in front of, it's across the street from.
Correct.
From 3 Houston, but that's not what it says in everything I've seen and how it's proposed.
Yeah, it's really across the street. You're right. If it was written that way, it should be across the street from number 3 Houston. It's not on the side of 3 Houston. I think you said on the southern side. It says on the southern side of Houston Avenue.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
The resolution will say one spot on the southern side of Houston Avenue, approximately 40 feet from the intersection of East Avenue, beginning at the no parking from here to corner sign.
Yeah,
Which
it's just
is right.
between from no parking here to corner until the pole, before you even get to.
You already gave an explanation why he's requesting it that way.
Well, because of just the inclination of the road. It's sloping downwards, the road. The way he parks right now, he parks because it helps him open the door, according to him, and keep gravity will help him keep the door open. And we actually brought his car. We asked his wife, bring his car, please, let me prove it for him that he can do it. He said, Jacob, I told him the car, sometimes when you open it, even against the gravity, the car will remain open because it has several clicks, stops in there to support itself. But it didn't. We actually asked his wife to bring the car over. She said, "Oh, don't make me back up." And said, "Well, we want to resolve it because we were trying to convince him to keep it on his side of the road." And he said, "Look, if you guys don't want to do it, I don't want it. I'll manage. I don't have that much left." And
I think
so
the
on and so
other
forth.
issue that he had, Commissioner, is he's sharing the driveway with his tenants. And that was the first thing we asked him, how come he's not using the driveway instead?
Yeah.
And that was the reason why he couldn't use the driveway.
Yeah,
because
it's
a lot
hit
of
and
times
miss.
it's been blocked.
It's hit and miss. If his tenants are there, and he comes back, and then he
Can't
can't park. He's going to be on the street, and He said, really, and he showed us some things that are not really, I can't get into it physically, but
He's also aware that if someone else have a parking permit, they could park in that spot also.
Yes.
So it's not really designed just for him. So he's aware of that also.
Okay, so it would just be the spot from the no parking here to corner sign down, and it would be marked off as one spot, because there's no marking for the parking spaces as they are now.
Okay,
So you'd need it clearly indicated where it stops.
okay.
And we've been looking at the Historical Society at possibly putting in a couple parking spots behind the building. Might want to be careful about drainage if we ask to do that.
Okay.
But, so we'd need commissioners looked at it with me too, we'd need a curb cut probably just in front of that, but as long as that space is clearly marked,
Yes.
then, okay, so I
yes, and it's
understand. this-
before the utility pole, because I know what you had in mind too. So between the no parking here to corner and the utility pole, then you have access, then you can have your own entrance to the back of the Historic Society for your own parking. That's still doable. It will not
Okay,
contradict.
as long as I understand the reason why he always parks on that side of
That's
the
why.
street rather than his own side.
Yeah.
Okay.
At first, yeah,
No, I'm sympathetic to that, I understand.
thank you.
And it's very hard to deny Mr. Armando, the mayor. I think the mayor represented with the key for the city when he retired from his shop. So was that a year ago or 2 years ago, Mayor?
Sure, but
Yeah,
he was a downtown businessman for many years.
for many years. Yeah, I remember he worked on my suit. Andrew.
For many years?
Andrew, do you have anything?
No, I just, as long as it's clearly marked, I'm sure I'm fine with that, so.
Okay,
not an issue.
Kev?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Sparrow?
Yeah, definitely. He's an upstanding citizen in his, elder years. He needs a little help getting out that door, so I totally support it.
Okay. Alderman?
I defer to your wisdom, Chairman.
Thank you. Mrs. Rankin-Soon?
I defer to the ward in question.
All right, thank you all. Second on the agenda, I have a block party at 218 Phillip Street on September 17th, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And they're requesting to close Phillip Street from house number 220 up to 210. Phillip Street, I did had a chance to canvass the area and spoke with the Whisper family. Phillip Street is a dead end. I don't see a big issue. They had reached out to police chief also. He doesn't have any issue with it. So Commissioner, do you want to? I have to bring you up.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
My pleasure. But I really don't know too much about it, except
Okay.
what you just said, and it sounds good.
Okay.
What you just said.
The only thing she requests from your department is to have a barricade, if she could have one or two at the beginning of the road
Okay.
on Phillip Street. It's a dead end. I don't think it's a big issue because she spoke with most of our neighbors. She have almost 15 signatures
Okay.
that was requested. So I don't see any issues.
Okay.
And the police chief is aware, and they're gonna monitor the area on that date.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Kev? Andrew?
All good, thank you.
Alderman Kleiner?
That's fine.
That's fine. Sparrow?
Is it the dead end near the hospital, or?
No, Phillip Street?
Yeah.
No,
Isn't it a
it's-
few places, Phillip Street? Where is it? I'm just curious.
It's on Phillip Street. No, it's a dead end. They have a few new homes.
Oh, okay.
But it's a dead
All right,
end street.
sounds good.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Defer to your wisdom, sir.
Okay. Alderman Consume?
Am I invited?
You are. All right.
Forget the third ward.
Well, she did say we're welcome to come anytime. All right. Yep.
Then we'll be there.
All right.
So we can't park.
Oh, we do have the chief here. Maybe we could have him.
Get a police escort for the
Yes,
block
police
party.
escort.
They're busy. They're in
Yes.
consultation.
I just want to get his opinion.
She's been waiting for you. For what? I don't
I want to get your opinion on Phillip Street, the block party on 17th of this month, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
What would you like?
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm just coming in. I apologize.
because as a matter of
Just
fact,
say yes.
when I called Mrs. Whisper, she said she had a conversation with, I'm assuming it was you or probably one of the officers.
No, the communication came through the clerk's office.
Okay.
I have no problem with it. It looks like she spoke with all the neighbors.
Yes, she did.
Looks like they signed off on
Yes, she
a
did.
form
She-
saying that they're okay with it.
Yes,
And
correct.
if it's approved, I'll assign an officer to keep an eye on it.
Okay. Is the barricade coming from your department or the commissioner's department?
Commissioners.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, she's requesting for 2 of them,
Okay,
all right? Thank you,
you're welcome.
all right?
Good job, Chief.
This is all I have this evening, and it's now, let's see, 7:26. Public Works Committee is now adjourned.